Welcome to the Chapel of Dreams. I'm Chaplain Dennis Keith Hale. If you do not have a dream, then you cannot have your dream come true. This ministry, the Lighter Than Air ministry, has of recent had a distinct spiritual and interpretive succinctness, which has been especially keyed to people who are in need and their dreams. Now, these are not people who were previously known to this ministry, nor to me, but drawn to us through a special outreach program reminiscent of the 1960s philosophical movements of peace, nature, and a return to the appreciation of beauty, joy, and simplicity. Here in the Chapel of Dreams, we found a portal into the lives and minds of people who are in need of direction, most looking for more in their life. Now, let's go to our emails, and remember, we encourage each and every one of you to email our ministry anytime. Your confidentiality is consistent with our standing as a church. No, we are not a Christian church, but we are lovingly, spiritually guided with a grace seldom given, but when applied, can change your life. So here we go with our first email. Our first email comes from the heart of Linda F. Linda writes, Dear Chapel of Dreams, I'm 53, still single after 16 years since my divorce. I have a dream which follows me nightly, it seems. In my dream I am on a table face down, yet I can see through the table. Below is a man waving at me. He seems far away. He's mouthing words that I cannot hear, but his lips seem to be saying, Run with me. Run with me. Or so I've decided. Do you think what this man below the table is saying is important to figuring out this dream? And oh, by the way, he has beautiful blue eyes like Paul Newman. Thank you, Chapel of Dreams. Linda, we're finding of late a plethora of similar dreams, believe it or not. They cross this desk here at the Chapel of Dreams, and we find that they're looking for guidance and direction. Of note, please, many of the emails we receive do include names, dates, and shall we say specifics, which give us more of the nuance. The art of your dream, Linda, there's a central part of all of us, and in this part of our spirit, our root structures constantly reaching out, always branching and seeking. Yours is a beauty of grace and art. Your mind is a director's viewfinder, a optical dreamscape. Your own sexuality is revealed along with the unnecessary restraint. If you can get around our current virus nightmare, somehow find this man, or someone who is like him enough. You'll know it'll be in a moment of great electricity. This is part of your skill set. Then find this man and agree to a 15-day, that's 1 day for good measure, shall we say a foreplay period. It will also act as a quarantine period. The energy that will build will come from that table of anticipation. It cannot be satisfied electronically or remotely by yourself. While abstinence might be tricky once you find this person, it may in fact bring you the clarity of the artscape of your mind that we find here in the Chapel of Dreams. Now here's another email from Sandy B. of Bolinas, California. Incidentally, Bolinas is a lovely seaside community that has a great spiritual history, right there on the shores of the Pacific Ocean, just north of San Francisco, California. Sandy writes, I lost my companion of 32 years just 6 months and 7 days ago as of this email. I will tell you the email is dated June 11th of this year. Sandy continues, Since that night, I have had a dream of being ravaged by an old boyfriend of 33 years ago, and in anguish, my lost companion watches from above. It seems to be just a moment in time, a spark, Then I awaken, startled though. I've had the same dream often before, but not as often on weekends. And I've noticed if I have a few glasses of wine, no, I'm not worried about becoming an alcoholic. I've had glasses of wine before. Often before his death, we would have wine. But stopped for a while till I discovered it gave me a break. I feel guilty, not because of the sex part, but I'm sure you can understand, and maybe help me to understand too. Well, Sandy, grief and guilt follow us hand in hand, and grief isn't just following a death. It follows us throughout our lives. But here you have what's something more, and I hope you'll understand that we support you as your sleep mind moves in unpredictable ways, yet often confessed. And speaking of confessions, and many I have heard, they too are shaped with a self-preservation bent that is not to be chipped away at. An auto mechanism nature gives us for self-preservation, and we must always see to it that energy can be directed and channeled, both from years of outreach counseling and from our personal experiences within this ministry. Grief's power can be sexually superpowering. Most of the emotional and exciting sex found in the lost moments filled with our animal needs and the need to find an artistic, fulfilling moment. You know, sexual creativity started long before the Kama Sutra was written as a book in the 1890s by an Englishman named Richard Burton. The first document, of course, from a bunch of different things, and what was it, I guess about 3 AD. Now it's time to hang out the paper lanterns of love. First to Jeannie from Acton. Jeannie, the paper lantern dream is somehow everywhere. Ask yourself what it is you wish to attract. You neglect to describe your paper lantern. But may I ask, is it being viewed above or below your normal field of vision? Laterally? Oh my. And Pauline from New York. Your paper lantern is one of brightness and almost blinding light. It is letting you off the hook. Close your eyes. Control that light, and when you say it intensifies with the emotional feelings in the dream, offer a pre-sleep suggestion to yourself to close your eyes and dig it. I'm Chaplain Hale. Until next week, we welcome you always to the Chapel of Dreams. Good night. Above or below your normal. Your paper lantern